Hello! Welcome back to another episode of Bastions and Basilisks, Monsters Edition. It's going to be a long one, and it's also going to be my favorite. Because skeletons are my favorite kind of undead. So, skeleton, among the ranks of the dead, none are so numerous nor so varied as the skeleton. While most are almost entirely made from bone, some maintain a few scraps of flesh to aid them in movement, such as wing membranes. Side first to rise. I can still remember the first time I was able to draw forth the right combination of incantations and gestures to bring a small pile of bones to life. To see them draw together and assemble, then stand, looking at me with empty eyes, waiting to obey my command. For myself, is the most only intoxicant that has ever held any allure. Fortunately, I cast off the bonds of sentimentality long ago. Although, come to think of it, I think that skeletal cat still lingers in one of my many vaults. Side, crawling cargo. Undead make the most common passengers inside a beetle carapace's abdomen, but swarms often pack tight inside the creatures. Insects tends to be more comfortable around undead than other types of animals. The following creatures have good options for combat encounters in which they can be released at a dramatic moment for a grotesque surprise. Bestiary, centipede swarm, scorpion swarm, wasp swarm. Bestiary 2, army ant swarm, fen mosquito swarm, sportle boar swarm. Bestiary 3, boar worm swarm, clacking skull swarm, hell wasp swarm, hermit crab swarm. How about lobster swarm? Side, patchwork skeletons. A skeleton's connection to its mortal remains is tenuous. One that's damaged can fairly easily replace a broken bone with a similar bone scavenged from another creature. A skeleton can eventually have its entire body replaced, bone by bone. Skeletons don't have much of an identity, making it unclear whether this is still the same creature. Okay, so it's the, Odysseus thing? Side, skeletal path. Diviners cast animal bones with a record of small successes. With necromancy, one can see far beyond. Animated skeletons presented with non-specific orders move in eddies as a school of fish might. Careful observation reveals patterns. This requires a large number of skeletons. Fortunately, a resource in which I am prosperous. Alright, skeleton abilities. Beyond their basic statistics, skeletons have a wide array of variations that grant them special attacks or resistances. While any one of these abilities doesn't necessarily increase the challenge presented by a skeleton, giving multiple abilities probably warrants an increase in level and adjustment to its statistics. These options are in addition to the special abilities on page 298 of the Bestiary and page 236 of Bestiary 3. Aquatic bones. The skeleton has bones from aquatic creatures, allowing it to swim using a simple tail, paddles, or similar appendage. The skeleton has a swim speed of 20 feet and gains the aquatic trait and the aquatic ambush ability. Bone swarm, 3 actions, frequency, once per day. Effect. The skeleton transforms into a cyclone of bones, a cybones as it were, taking up the same space, but twice as tall. It then strides up to double its speed. It can move through spaces occupied by other creatures, and this movement doesn't trigger reactions. Creatures the bone storm moves through take 1d6 slashing damage for every 2 levels of the skeletons, with a basic reflex save against the hard DC for the creature's level. A level 1 or lower skeleton only moves, it doesn't deal damage. A creature attempts this save only once, even if the bone storm moves through the space multiple times. At the end of the movement, the skeleton reforms. I like that. Crumbling bones. The skeleton is made from crumbling bones that drift in clouds of dust. The skeleton has a fly speed of 20, but it must end its turn with no more than 5 feet off the ground. Okay, that's wording is terrible. Or it falls, taking damage as normal. In addition, the skeleton can move through any space that's large enough for its skull to fit through. Sorry, my nose is very itchy today. Frozen. The skeleton's bones are covered in a thin layer of ice. The skeleton gains immunity to cold and weakness 5 to fire, and loses resistance to fire. The skeleton is surrounded by an aura of cold that deals cold damage equal to half the skeleton's level to all adjacent creatures at the start of the skeleton's turn. Basic reflex save with a standard DC for its level. Grave Eruption. 2 actions. Requirements. The skeleton is undetected and buried in dirt, gravel, or other loose material. Effect. The skeleton erupts from the ground, stands, and makes a melee strike. The target is flat-footed against this strike. If the strike hits, the target is frightened 1 or frightened 2 on a critical hit. Lacquered. During the process to create the skeleton, it was covered with several layers of an alchemical lacquer, giving it bones of golden hue and granting added protection. The skeleton gains acid resistance 5 and a plus 2 bonus to saves against effects that age or erode the target. Nimble. The skeleton is particularly fast and nimble. Its land speed increases by 10 feet and it has a climb speed of 20 feet. In addition, it gains the nimble dodge reaction. Rotten. The bones of the skeleton are black and rotten, having spent years in polluted water or some other foul substance. The skeleton loses its resistance to piercing and slashing damage and is surrounded by a horrific stench in a 10-foot aura. A creature entering or starting its turn in the aura must succeed a fortitude save against the standard DC of the skeleton's level or become sickened 1, plus slowed 1 for as long as it remains sickened on a critical failure. While within the aura, affected creatures take a -2 circumstance penalty to saves against disease and they recover from the sickened condition. A creature that succeeds on its save is temporarily immune for 1 minute. The stench remains for 1 hour after the rotten skeleton has been destroyed unless the bones are burned or the rot is washed away with at least 1 gallon of water. Alright. Wolf Skeleton. Without the burden of flesh, skeletal wolves charge across the battlefield with terrifying speed. Wolf Skeleton, Creature 0, Neutral Evil, Medium, Mindless, Skeleton Undead, Perception plus 8 Dark Vision, Skills, Acrobatics plus 6, Athletics plus 4, Stealth plus 6, Strength plus 2, Dexterity plus 4, Constitution plus 1, Intelligence -5, Wisdom plus 2, Charisma plus 0, AC 16, Fortitude plus 3, Reflex plus 8, Willpower plus 6, Hit points 12, Negative Healing, Immunities, Death Effects, Disease, Mental, Paralyzed, Poison, Unconscious, Resistances, Cold 5, Electricity 5, Fire 5, Piercing 5, Slashing 5. Wow. Skeletons are awesome. Speed 35 feet. Melee 1 action, Jaws plus 8. Damage 1d4 plus 2 piercing plus knockdown. Surge of Speed. 2 actions. The wolf skeleton strides 3 times, but it's flat-footed until the start of its next turn. That's 130 feet? 125 feet. No, sorry. I was multiplying by 45, not 35. 70, 105 feet. Skeletal Soldier. These soldiers continue to follow orders in death, still wielding the armaments they spent a lifetime learning how to use. While frequently made from the bones of humans or dwarves, other types of humanoids are quite common, such as bugbears, hobgoblins, and orcs. Often, these soldiers wield the weapons most common among their people instead of those listed here. Skeletal Soldier, Creature 1, Neutral Evil, Medium, Mindless, Skeleton, Undead, Perception plus 5, Dark Vision, Skills, Acrobatics plus 5, Athletics plus 7, Stealth plus 5, Strength plus 2, Dexterity plus 2, Constitution plus 3, Intelligence -5, Wisdom plus 0, Charisma plus 0. Items, chain shirt, glaive, longbow, 20 arrows. But like they said, if a different area has a different kind of weapon style, then they can use that instead. AC 17, Fortitude plus 6, Reflex plus 7, Willpower plus 5. Hit points 16, Negative Healing, Immunities, Death Effects, Disease, Mental, Paralyzed, Poison, Unconscious. Resistances, Cold, Electricity, Fire, Piercing, Slashing, all 5. Speed 25 feet. Melee 1 action, Glaive plus 9. Deadly D8, Forceful, Reach 10 feet. Damage 1d8 plus 2 slashing. Melee 1 action, Claw plus 9, Agile, Finesse, damage 1d4 plus 2 slashing. Ranged, 1 action, Longbow plus 9, Deadly d10, ranging can be 100 feet, falling 30 feet, damage 1d8 piercing. Set Defense. 1 action. The skeletal soldier sets its glaive or other reach weapon to defend the area around it. It gains the attack of opportunity reaction for that weapon only. This lasts until the skeleton takes an action with the move or attack trait or is destroyed. So you can theoretically move and then attack and then defense. Skeletal Mage. Rarely the bones of a spellcaster can be used to create a skeleton that maintains limited abilities to cast spells. These spells are almost always offensive in nature, and the Skeletal Mage uses them with reckless abandon. Skeletal Mages are often misidentified as liches, and while not nearly as cunning or deadly, they still pose a significant threat to their foes. Skeletal Mage, Creature 5. Neutral Evil, Medium, Skeleton, Undead. Perception plus 9, Dark Vision. Languages, Necro. Skills, Arcana plus 14, Stealth plus 13. Strength plus 2, Dexterity plus 4. Con plus 0, Intelligence minus 1. Wisdom plus 2. Charisma plus 0. AC 21, Fortitude plus 9. Reflex plus 11. Willpower plus 13. Hit points 60, negative healing. Immunities, death effects, disease, mental, paralyzed, poison, unconscious. Resistances, cold, electricity, fire, piercing, cold, electricity, fire, 10. Piercing, slashing, 5. Speed, 25 feet. Melee, 1 action, claw plus 11. Agile, finesse, damage, 2d8 plus 2 slashing. Arcane innate spells, DC 22. Attack plus 14. 3rd level, Lightning Bolt, Magic Missile, Paralyze. 2nd level, Acid Arrow, Enlarge, Telekinetic Maneuver. 1st level, Burning Hands times 2, Grease, Shocking Grasp. Cantrips, 3rd, Produce Flame, Ray of Frost. Beetle Carapace. Created from the exoskeleton of a giant stag beetle, this mindless husk can cut a foe in half using its powerful mandibles. The abdomen of this crawling undead is empty, and more than one necromancer has used this space to hide valuable cargo. Beetle Carapace, Creature 6. Neutral Evil, Large, Mindless, Skeleton Undead. Perception, plus 12, Dark Vision. Skills, Acrobatics, 11. Athletics, 15. Strength, plus 5. Dexterity, plus 3. Constitution, plus 4. Intelligence, minus 5. Wisdom, plus 2. Charisma, minus 2. AC, 25. Fortitude, plus 16. Reflex, plus 13. Willpower, plus 11. Hit points, 90. Negative healing. Immunities, death effects, disease, mental, paralyzed, poison, unconscious. Resistances, cold, electricity, fire, piercing, slashing. All 5 still. Speed, 20 feet. Fly, 20 feet. Melee, 1 action. Mandibles, plus 15. Damage, 2d8 plus 7 piercing, plus grab. Melee, 1 action. Foot, plus 15. Damage, 2d6 plus 7 bludgeoning. Abdomen cache, or cache. The abdomen of a beetle carapace can be fitted with a simple hinge, allowing it to open and be used as storage. The abdomen can hold up to 1 medium or smaller creature, a large or smaller swarm, or a similar amount of cargo. The beetle or creature stored in it can interact to open the hatch. If the beetle or creature stored in if the beetle carapace takes a critical hit by bludgeoning weapon, roll a DC 10 flat check. If the check fails, the cache is breached and its contents spill out of the beetle. The hatch can be forced open. DC 22 athletics. Constrict. 1 action. 2d8 plus 2 piercing. DC 24. Drake Skeleton. This is after he passes away, so you can still listen to his music. Moving with sinuous grace, these flying drake skeletons are held aloft by rotting membranes between their bony wings. Although just as mindless as other skeletons, skeletal drakes maintain much of the draconic ferocity and raw spite they possessed in life, allowing them to attack viciously. Drake skeleton, creature 8, neutral evil, large, mindless skeleton undead. Perception plus 14, dark vision. Skills, acrobatics plus 14, athletics plus 18, stealth plus 16. Strength plus 6, dex plus 6, constitution plus 4, intelligence minus 5, wisdom plus 2, charisma minus 1. AC 26, fortitude plus 16, reflex plus 14, willpower plus 12. Hit points 130, negative healing. Immunities, death effects, disease, mental, paralyzed, poison, unconscious. Resistances, cold, electricity, fire, piercing, slashing, all 10. Fragile wings. When the drake skeleton is reduced to fewer than half its hit points, it can no longer fly. If it's aloft when this happens, it crashes immediately, but can use the tatters of its wings to soften the landing, treating the fall as 20 feet shorter to calculate falling damage. Speed, 20 feet, fly 40 feet. Melee, 1 action, fangs plus 20, damage 2d8 plus 12 piercing. Melee, 1 action, tail plus 20, reach 10 feet, damage 2d4 plus 12 bludgeoning. Draconic frenzy. 2 actions, the skeletal drake makes 2 fang strikes and 1 tail strike in any order. That feels disgusting. That's nasty. That's broken as hell. Skeletal Titan. Only the powerful and foolish would raise the bones of a mighty titan or similar gargantuan creature as a skeleton. Skilled practitioners use these as a waste of, or see these as a waste of a powerful body and imbue them with their airwalking magic based on those of titans, while the wise know it's nearly impossible to control such a colossus and that it's just as likely to crush its creator underneath its mighty foot as it is to smite their foes. Skeletal Titan, creature 13, neutral evil, gargantuan, mindless skeleton, undead. Sure, I have no idea why I keep yawning. Perception plus 19, dark vision. Athletics plus 28. Strength plus 9. Dexterity plus 3. Constitution plus 4. Intelligence minus 5. Wisdom plus 2. Charisma minus 1. AC 33. Fortitude plus 23. Reflex plus 24. Willpower plus 21. Hit points 210, negative healing. Immunities, death effects, disease, mental, paralyzed, poison, unconscious. Resistances, cold, electricity, fire, 10, piercing, slashing, 15. Speed, 40 feet, airwalk. Melee, 1 action, mountain sword, plus 26, reach, 20 feet, damage, 3d12 plus 13 bludgeoning. Melee, 1 action, claw, plus 26, agile, reach, 15 feet, damage 2d8 plus 13 bludgeoning. 3d8 plus 13 bludgeoning. Melee 1 action foot plus 26, reach 15 feet, damage 3d8 plus 13 bludgeoning. Ranged bone plus 24, brutal, range increment 60 feet, damage 2d10 plus 13 plus bone debris. Divine innate spells, DC 31, constant 7th level airwalk. Bone debris. The bones a skeletal titan throws are large enough to clutter the battlefield. When the skeletal titan hits a creature with a bone attack, the projectile becomes difficult terrain in the square that the creature occupies, or the creature occupies more than one square it occupies of the titan's choice. If the titan misses with the bone attack, instead random square adjacent to the creature becomes difficult terrain. Mountain Slam, 3 actions. The skeletal titan slams its mountain sword into the ground. The shockwave reverberates, dealing mountain sword damage to all creatures in a 20-foot line. DC 34 basic reflex save. Those who fail are also knocked prone. Trample, 3 actions, huge or smaller. Foot, DC 34. So I think it can move over you and trample you. using its foot damage. And the DC to save is DC 34. I assume reflex. Alright, well those are skeletons. Those are some skeletons. I love skeletons, so that makes me very happy. So thanks very much for watching. Bye.